Luna, come over. How's it going, party people? Yeah. Oh, hey, big girl. How's it going, party people? It is Caravan Dan from Gaming Caravan, and today I'm going to rank every game I played by leader from worst to best. Now this is Luna, my cuddle bug right here, my little rescue, German Shepherd, most likely Malinois mix. And I just want to show her off to you guys as well. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So just a little bit of something new. I just heads up, Leader does sponsor this channel every now and then, but that does not change anything I do. I tell the sponsor I say nothing but the truth, brutal honesty, which is why I think so many people trust me. Thank you for all the 1,000 something of you guys that are following me on YouTube. If you don't follow me yet, make sure to subscribe. Like this video if you like what we have to say. Comment if you have a little puppy at home. She's 3 years old, but we say puppy, I guess. And now I'm going to go down my list for leader. So, time to say all the games I've played by leader. I have played Root, I have played Fort, I've played Arcs, and I played Ahoy. Those are the 4 games I've played. They only have about 7 if you're going all the way back to the beginning with them. So it's not too many to choose from, but this makes a nice, short, quick little fun video. If you like what we do in this video, make sure to drop a comment and express that so I can do more content of this type. Hi, Looney. I'm not sure if I said this is Luna, and we call her Looney or Looney Tooney because she's the looniest tuna that ever existed. Hi. Hiya. Oh. Okay, so starting at the worst game, and for the record, these are just ranked against each other. It's not whether it's a good game or bad game, it's just whether or not, like, the worst to best of this category. All right, so starting off at number 4 is Fort. Fort is technically the worst game I played by leader. If you don't know Fort, it is a 2 to 4 player deck builder resource management game. It's very interesting. But effectively what you're all kids trying to upgrade their like tree fort to being the highest it can be, getting the most amount of points from all these things. There's a few different ways to get points, and leaders of this game for Caravan Convoy last year, 2024, with the Cats and Dogs expansion. And I do believe the Cats and Dogs expansion made the game significantly better. It just added a little bit more control in the game, a little bit more variability. Now, the interesting thing about Fort is cards don't really have a currency to them. It's more so you can just pick up cards to use from other people's yards or from the public deck to make your deck a little bit better. And there's a lot of things to do off your turn. So if people aren't really paying attention, it's going to make this game into a lot more of an arduous, obnoxious process. It's not a game that you can just absentmindedly not be involved with. You really have to be engaged with every turn because there's a lot of things you can do off your turn, which is very interesting as well. The first games I played with an off your turn interaction to it. It's been a little bit since I played that game, but the main thing with that game, it was a cool first game, but the more I played it, the less I felt it was replayable fully, which is why it was nice to add the expansion to it, because the expansion added a lot of, a little bit of asymmetry, like cats only went to whoever they loved, and dogs you had to like utilize properly. I don't remember exactly what the dogs did, but it was pretty cool. I liked it. It was another thing to do in the game. I think that game needs more things to do. It's fun. I think it's peak at like 2 or 3 players. Playing with the full 4 did take a good amount of time. But it's a fine game. I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't think it's a game. And with me being such a huge deck builder fan, I played so many fantastic deck builders. It's not a game I could see myself to go back and visit that often. So 4 is at the bottom of my list at number 4. Now we're going to the other games. We got number 3. We have Ahoy. Ahoy. Ahoy is following more of the leader path that we know, where it's full asymmetry. Definitely like, this is your class, this is what you can do, this is what you have to make sure about with your opponents. Do your best with what you can do. It is an exploration game. I think it's technically 4X. No, actually, I don't think it's technically 4X. Depending on your clan or your class, you have a board in front of you that allows you to use different abilities with your dice. Everyone has dice that you have to use to do actions on your turn. If you have no actions or no slots you can use, I'm pretty sure that's like, you can't do anything for that game. I've only played Ahoy once, but it was a fun time. It was cool. If you play with 2 players, one person's one class, the other one's other class. 3 players, you add in like a third class, which is kind of like and then the 4th class is just a duplicate of the 3rd class. If that sounds kind of confusing, it's definitely not. The game is hard to understand from the rulebook. You really have to have someone who's played the game or is very familiar with leader rulebooks to fully understand what you need to do if you're going based on just the rulebook. But it was a cool game. It was fun. It had a lot of cool interaction. I believe there's a specific class that people win way too much with, but the expansion that came out for Ahoy makes me want to go back and revisit it 100%. And I think it's a cool story-ish telling game. The way you explore the ocean and go out, and the way that you have to own control at different locations, is pretty fun. It's pretty interesting. It is just a little bit unbalanced towards one class, and I don't remember which one it was. I think it's one that had like a ton of different turrets at different locations, which made it significantly harder for the third class to do too much with. So if you play Ahoy, make sure to comment below what the these classes are, so it can make more sense for people. But the slight lack of balance to the game made it a less enjoyable experience for me than the other two games I'm about to say on this list. So that's why Ahoy is number 3. Still a good game. I enjoy it. I do want to play it again, but not as good as these other ones. Now, at number 2, we have Arcs. If you don't know, Arcs is it doesn't have to be asymmetric depending on how you play the game. I personally think Arcs is peak with the expansion, the Blighted Reach expansion. But Leaders and Lore did add some asymmetry to it. The leaders were pretty cool. The Blight expansion, the Blighted Reach, really just like went super heavy on the asymmetry to the game, which I think Leader does a great job at. I think the fact that they're making that level of product consistently for consumers is very impressive, and doesn't happen too much with board game publishers, as they typically try to branch out and do different things, which isn't bad either. But it's nice to have a board game company where you know like all their hits are hitting one specific demographic and one specific target, except for like Fort. Leader has a couple games that are just not in that demographic, but overall they do a great job with asymmetric heavy-ish games. Arcs is a space game where you're rolling dice to hit each other. You're trying to own ownership on certain cards. Now, the way you score in that game is specifically up to the players. Whatever the players choose to score is what we score that round, and you just have to make sure you navigate properly. Arcs is specifically known for you can never do what you want to do, and you have a hand. You just got to do the best you can with the hand you have. The first couple games are longer than it should be for Arcs, just because you're trying to do what you want, and you just can't do what you want. So you have to understand that once you get in your mind to just take the L, instead of doing 3 actions that kind of suck, do the 1 action that you really need, because that's overall what you need to do. Though it's a trick-taking action selection, which is interesting, and it's kind of luck based on what you can do, because of the cards you get are the actions you can do, and playing them and timing them right really matter a lot. But it's still a great game. Like the fact that they have that in there, it doesn't just destroy the gameplay for such like a strategic game. Is again another impressive feat that Leader has done successfully. I do like the fact that you can add so much stuff to your like almost a tableau of sorts to give yourself more abilities, more ways to interact with other players. It's fun. I can't explain it that well because there's so much going on in that game. If you want to see more, go to my Before You Buy video on Arc specifically. I speak way more in depth with that game. But it's a good time. I really do enjoy that game. And the Blighted Reach is just icing on that cake. It's just, it really took that game from like, this is a really good game to like, this is an amazing game. I really want to do a video on the Blighted Reach whenever I can, but that's a hard video to record everything in. But yeah. And number 1, if you can't tell, number 1 by Leader is Root. Root is Leader's best game because they have done a great formula. Every class they add to that game that's fully asymmetric is just better and better and better. My first game of Root I played with the Lizard Folk. I played Lizard Folk. I have played, oh my gosh, I can't remember everyone I played as, but it's very fun. It's very interesting, and no clans play the same. You got the Ravens I play as almost a timing programming feature of the game. You have the mice that half your game is trying to get one piece on the board, and after that you're just exponentially growing and growing and growing. The culture in that game is very interesting. The rules that you can play by that hardcore players know it's pretty cool. Like for instance, you can't use the base game or the base deck that comes with the game because there's some cards that are dramatically overplayed or overpowered that makes the game take significantly longer and could just become more of a lucky situation then. If you use the updated deck you can get for like $10 on the website, It really does add some cool stuff to the game. They sent me Root with the sleeves. I do want to buy a lot more of the expansions of that game because I would love to get like a Root tournament going. They had RootCon a little bit ago. I'd love to do something like that again here in Central Florida whenever possible. I think it's a very again. I think Root is the first game by far that impressed me with everything a board game can be. I know games can be heavy. I know games can be long. I know games can be like difficult, but I've never seen a game that like every single player in the game is so much different than others. Now, because of that, the downside of Root is the fact that you need to teach everyone's characters to everyone at the table. I played, I think, a 6-man game of Root at my first game, or 5-man form was my first one, and like a 6-man game of Root the second game. I played the Vagabond the second game, which was crazy, interacting with just the forest. It's just such an interesting culture. There's like a whole Bible to it as well because there's just so many. The game is so in depth and intricate. You really have to make sure you don't break it by choosing factions that don't align with one another. Some don't interact well with other factions, so at lower player counts, you really need to make sure you choose something that fits with each other. But again, Root is just such an interesting game. I'd love to do it before you buy a video on it. I'll probably do that pretty soon. I just have to. I try to play that game whenever I can, but it is a longer game in the sense of like it's like 2.5 hours, 2 hours. If you're not playing with people who know exactly what they're doing, they know their class, they know their clan. But yeah, that's it. Root's number 1. So my order is number 4. We got Fort. Number 3, we got Ahoy. Number 2, we have Arcs. Number 1, we have Root. And I'd love to see what comes out next from Leader. Leader's one of my favorite companies to work with. I love their contacts, who I have with them. I'm excited to see so much more that comes out from them. Thank you so much for being such a great sponsor, Leader. I know you didn't sponsor this video, but I just like promoting good games whenever I can. If you haven't played these games, check them out yourself. And if you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe. If you like Luna, make sure to subscribe to see more from the Looney Tuna right here. The looniest tuna right here. The little feast or fiend. Look at this girl. Look at this crazy girl. She has to play so much. Yeah, that's everything. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the community. Hope to see you on another video. But for now, peace. Have a great day. God bless. I hope to see you at table soon. Why are you biting me like that, girl? What you biting me for?